श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everyone for continuation of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1 to 6, unit 1, Bhakti Shastri course. So we were discussing the first chapter from the beginning. I think 2 classes we took. धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सव मामकाः पांडवाश्चैव किम अकुर्वत् संजय. This was the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So we saw that how there was bodily consciousness felt in the heart of Dhritarashtra from beginning. From beginning only he was very much envious of his brother's sons and he wanted to take away the kingdom. First he tried to send them away through some means, through some conspiracy, through some scams. Later he tried to even kill them. These were planned by his notorious son Duryodhana in company with Sakuni. So then Dhritarashtra was also part of such conspiracy. And at last he wanted that this war should happen. So even though Lord Sri Krishna came as a Santi Doot and Dhritarashtra saw him as a Virat Roop, he saw his Vishwaroop Virat Roop, that Krishna is Kala Swaroop, he knows everything past, present, future, and he is showing that how he is so formidable for all his kingdom, for all the Kauravas. But still, after seeing also Dhritarashtra, because of attachment, he could not give up his heinous thinking that I want to rule with my sons, or after me my sons should rule. So therefore Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj used to say that until we give up our attachment, we won't make any progress in spiritual life. So attachment has to be given up. Asanga sastena didena chitva. This comes in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. By gaining knowledge, one should use that knowledge in a form of a weapon to cut the attachment which we have. So therefore, regular hearing the subject matter about soul and the super soul and the eternity of our being and futile nature of this world, temporary nature, perishable nature of this world is very significant. Regular hearing is important. Prabhupada gives a nice example, like when in the Los Angeles, so many vehicles are moving, and then across the road you find some nameplate of some person, and that the nameplate becomes covered with some dust because of the vehicles moving. So because the vehicles moving, the dust rise in the sky, and then they cover the things. In the similar way, when we are working in this world, we are contacting with material nature. By nature only, we become contaminated by nature, because when we are not elevated in our spiritual consciousness, when we are not working with a caution, we can say, with a caution or with a realization in this world, we are simply working just because some duty is there, or I have to maintain my family, or or there is some other impetus can be there. But whatever impetus, if one is not working in this world uh, at the level of self realization, he will be covered over by Maya. And so he has to again sharpen his consciousness and intelligence to see the world in a different way. He has to gain the spiritual observation. So therefore Dhritarashtra is condemned for all whatever proceedings are happening in this war. He is condemned actually because he was the king. He wanted that war should happen. He was confused about the victory of his sons because it was a place, Kurukshetra, and pious place has auspiciousness for virtuous and pious people like Pandavas. So he was fearful that my sons would lose. Another thing, why he did not wanted to give up the war, because he was highly confident on part of Bhishma, that Bhishma nobody could defeat. So therefore, if he is there with us, surely we will win. So there is a same mixture of all such emotions like fear, doubt, hopefulness, desirous nature, all such things. Then we saw his diplomatic son, Duryodhana. Sanjay says that don't worry, war is not going to stop, because now this Raja means who knows the Rajniti. He is not a Raja right now. He has now gone to Dronacharya and he is discussing something. So there was a fear even not only in the heart of the father but also in the heart of the son Duryodhana. What was the fear? Within such a small time, even though these people are out of place, they are not the king. These Pandavas are not the king, out of place. Still, they could get so much army. How is it possible that they could gather so much army? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, 1 minute. Yeah. So how could these Pandavas gain so much army? So then he understood, now this Dishtudumna, he has to kill Dronacharya, but foolishly Dronacharya has trained him with all military arts that he had gathered such a big army. So then he goes and sarcastically just says to him that such a big army has gathered. Just see, this is your foolishness actually. So then
हो जाएगा।
इन
he
दोनों का ही
ordered,
करना, हमारा किसी का नहीं करना। हमारे को, हम लोग को इतना शौक भी नहीं कैंडिडेट विंडेट का।
Hare Krishna, please mute yourself. Sometimes internet is a very, you can say, secret. It reveals all the secret. Online classes.
And it's recorded also.
Okay, be cautious. Huh? What you are
And it
speaking.
gets recorded also.
Be attentive. Okay, Hare Krishna. Better all the devotees should switch on their videos so that they they should not be doing something behind the black screen. Okay, so then this Duryodhana he started speaking about all the armies of Pandavas, so how they are so uh, well equipped with the. So he gives many adjectives to them. Is mentioned in the here slokas. Narapungava, he gives, and Maharathas. So we saw that Maharathas, Ardharathas, we saw that. Atiratha, or Rathi also, fighting with one person only. So like that, some adjective he gives to all of these army men from Pandava side. So, and we also saw that he did not give many names from his side, and he just said that Bhishma is so powerful in front of Bhima that Bhima is nothing in front of Bhishma. And we aparyaptam tu dasmakam, balam bhisma birakshitam, aparyaptam means our strength is aparyaptam. So Acharya gives two meaning. Aparyaptam means it's not sufficient, you will surely lose the war, those who are in too much favor of Pandavas. And another literal meanings are given by some Acharya. They say that Bhishma had a very great strength, so therefore his strength is unlimited, immeasurable. Then we saw that Bhishma, to just encourage his grandson Duryodhana, he blew the conch like a lion blowing the conch, uproaring. So Singhanad, it is the word used. But his conch is not to be said as a transcendental. It's not mentioned here, transcendental conch. And as soon as the Bhishma blew the conch, all the army, some these people who make some musical instrument, they started playing drums, bugles, trumpet, horns. Okay, then after that, the camera like goes to Krishna side. Now Krishna and Arjuna, so then both are now there on the battlefield, and they started also blowing the conch. So Rishikesha, Panchajanya is a conch for Lord Sri Krishna. Dhananjaya, Devadatta. Vrukodara, Bhima, Pondra. Yudhishthir, Ananta Vijaya. Nakula, Sahaghosh, Sughosh. Sahadev, Manipushpak. So like that, they all blew their conch, and after blowing the conch, even others also, it is mentioned that it shattered the heart of sons of Dhritarashtra's or Kaurava's army. So Prabhupada mentions, because this was the confidence of Pandavas in association of Lord Sri Krishna. So devotees should have that much confidence that any kind of trouble, any kind of turmoil may happen in the life of devotees, because the life itself is a temporary. Its material body is itself temporary. But the dharma and our devotional service, or even the dharmic principles, they are not temporary, they are permanent. So therefore, in previous time also people used to fight war, or they used to do any duty with respect to dharma, not with respect to loss of body and wealth.
करून घेतात. हो हो बरोबर बरोबर.
Okay, you can take Anish Prabhu, you can mute everyone, and when the class goes ahead, then you can unmute them. Okay.
Yes,
So
I changed the setting.
so therefore, uh, it is said violence is a treatment. Okay, so no, violence is a treatment and non-violence is a nourishment. Violence is a treatment and non-violence is a nourishment. What do you mean by that? Like these Kauravas are considered also are the weeds in this field of Kurukshetra, the Dharma Kshetra, where Dharma has to be grown, the Dharma paddy has to be grown up. And who is the father? Krishna is the father. He is like a farmer who is growing that Dharma. And dharmic people like Yudhishthir and others. So when Yudhishthir and other Pandavas, they are growing, they are the crops, and Krishna is a farmer. Now who are the weeds? These are the weeds. Kauravas are the weeds. So then the weeds has to be taken out. So in our body also, in the similar way, there can be healthy part and there can be cancerous part, or diseased part. So when body has to be kept healthy, then you have to remove the cancer part to keep the body healthy. So therefore, violence becomes a treatment. Like in the operation theater, they remove the affected part, infected part, and so they want to protect the whole body. And non-violence is it is said, it is nourishment means what? When society is growing very nicely based on the values, in such society non-violence should be practiced among the good citizens. So it nourishes their values, because when we are non-violent, you don't just simply attack any person because of some little agitations, or over trifles we start fighting. Like in Kali Yuga, people are quarreling without any big matter. Over trifles they start fighting. So that is, they should now practice non-violence. But non-violence should be practiced in a state where people are God conscious actually, and they worry about each other. They are not like cheaters. They are not like rogues and thieves. Like just you think, if a society is made up of people, some are rogues, some are thieves, and you start practicing non-violence at that place, it becomes very difficult, because the duty of king in any city, in any kingdom, is to make sure that the citizens who are there in the kingdom, they should be practicing varnashram dharma, they should be practicing morality, they should be practicing devotional service. So what happens if all of them are practicing? So they are, by nature they will be pure by nature. But if they are not practicing, they are just doing their own things, so then nobody can be assured what kind of dharma is he following. And so if you are not assured, so then you cannot be assured about his character, about his uh, temperament, about his traits, nothing. So you cannot, then you cannot make any rule in the society, in the kingdom. No rule you can follow. That is why in modern time this is a problem. If people are not God conscious, even if you spread Krishna consciousness throughout the people, so somebody has to ensure that now you have to follow this Krishna consciousness. If you do not follow, this law will act on you. This kind of punishment will act. So it has to be like that. Therefore, previously the kings used to be there, because in none of the society till date, all people will become good. None of the society. There will be always some rogues and thieves. And so they have to be controlled by the good king, by law and order. Only sadhus cannot make good societies. So therefore, there is a need of king. Otherwise, Arjuna was also taking the role of a sadhu. He was saying, I will become sannyasi, I will go to the jungle, I will start begging. Krishna said, Are, there are too many sadhus. Now, who will take care of these sadhus? Who will protect them? Because Krishna says, Paritranayam sadhunam vinasacha duskritam. So, Krishna, through the agency of Kshatriyas, he creates dharma in the society. He takes care of law and order in the society. He protects sadhus, he protects the innocent people through the means of Kshatriya actually. And then to encourage those dharma, sadhus are there. So when you are nicely protected in a society, God conscious society, then sadhus are meaningful. Then they can grow that dharma, they can nourish that dharma. But already if the society is mixed with all the kind of rogues, thieves, and they are becoming the leaders, they are becoming the kings, what kind of peace you can expect? Nothing you can expect. Is a problem. So therefore, in one lecture, Srila Prabhupada clearly mentioned, forget peace and prosperity in the world. Unless a good king comes, you cannot do anything. Because you cannot make any law and order in the world. Who is going to hear you? You keep on shouting with the mic and mridanga. Who will hear you after a certain time? So therefore, this has to be put by the king. Now everybody, in every home, there should be kirtan. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he took a mashal with a kaji. Now everywhere kirtan will happen. And kaji agreed actually, yes, it will happen. So that kind of thing is required. Where the government should also be God conscious, and he should ensure Sankirtan everywhere. He should ensure devotion service everywhere. Not only the sadhus have to only force every person. Oh, you also chant, you also do. No, there has to be rules, regulation. Otherwise, the rogues and thieves will increase. So therefore, it's mentioned here. So, okay. So then after they all blew the conch, and then Arjuna says that please take me in between the army. I want to see who have all come there. So Krishna, understanding the mind of Arjuna, he takes him there. And Krishna is called Achyuta because he never fails in showing affection to his devotees. Arjuna had no desire to fight from beginning only, but he was having certain, let us go and see what is going to happen. His problem was not very much big in the beginning. But when he saw the army people in front to whom he has to kill, his problem became very big. What he was hiding inside earlier, thinking that it may not require some treatment, now it required a severe treatment now. He came in front where his all emotions for his all grandfather, for father, for brother. All emotions are now like a storm. They are attacking on him. So then here it's mentioned कि Arjuna is called Gudakesha. Gudakesha means we saw that he also giving pleasure to like other like Shiva, Brahma and other Isha. Eh? Good means feeding them some sugar by showing his dealing with Krishna and Krishna also talking to him and all such pastimes are happening on the battlefield. He's giving a nice sweet pastime to all others to see. Other meaning of Gudakesha means to overcome the sleep, overcome ignorance. So because of being in connection with Krishna, he could do that. Arjuna, while sleeping, also used to remember Krishna. Rishikesh means is the controller of all the senses. Rishik, Isha. Isha means ishwar, controller, and Rishik means senses. So who is the controller of all the senses? That is Krishna. So Arjuna's mind was understood by Krishna. So therefore he is also called Rishikesha. Because he knows, because the mind is the master of all senses. And it is said that Rishikesh is Krishna, so therefore he also understands the mind. Krishna also addresses Arjuna as Partha because he was son of Pritha, Kunti. Okay. So then we saw that how Arjuna saw all his brothers, fathers like Bhurushrava, Pitamaha like Bhishma, Somdatta, Acharya like Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Matulan means maternal uncles like Salya, Sakuni, Bhratran, Duryodhana, Vikarna, Putrans, Lakshmana was the son of Duryodhan. So Lakshmana's and his sons were like grandsons for Arjuna. Aswathama was like a friend. Sasur, father-in-law, Drupad, like that. Suhrida, like a Kritavarma. So like that, he saw all these people and then he fell into great compassion for all of them. So earlier he was thinking from his side, I am taking so much army to be killed in this war. But now when he saw the people from other side, he started feeling compassion for them also. So therefore the word paraya is used. So we were there on yes. So paraya kripaya, this is a word. तान समीक्षस कौन्तेय सर्वान् बन्धुनवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टो विसीदन् idam अब्रवीत्. So it says that he became paraya kripaya. So paraya, so Acharya they say one thing. So yeah, okay, first we'll directly go here. So they say that paraya kripaya means extremely compassionate nature. Paraya. And also the para means superior. Means they also say that this kind of compassion is not, or you can say the feeling of affection is not material. It's a para means it's a superior quality. It's a para. Inherent and perfect quality, it is said here. So therefore, I think last time when Mataji was asking question, how to understand this both the things. One time it is said that compassion, the feelings for all the family members is not a weakness of heart, it's a pure devotee quality. And then it is also said that Arjuna had a material conception, bodily conception. How to understand both? So quality for compassion, it is said to be spiritual, to be pure devotee quality. But conception is material. Conception is material. And Prabhupada says that Krishna, out of his kripa, he put Arjuna in that situation. That he would be bewildered. He will be bewildered. So see, Arjuna is a soul, like I discussed last time, that we all are for soul. And when we become pure in this world, so it happens many times that even though the personality is pure, but sometimes he becomes covered over. And he starts showing more affection towards somebody else. So that is the situation of Arjuna actually. He is a pure soul, but Krishna has covered him. So then he is showing compassion or in a bodily terms. And he is not trying to please Krishna. He is just seeing the self only in terms of body. So one side is compassion. It's a very natural compassion. Why I should kill? I don't want kingdom. I don't want victory. So why I should kill? I don't want all these things. It's like a virakta soul. And for me, so many people will be killed. Why? So this is a compassion. But other side, he is not seeing from Krishna's side. Are Krishna wants me to fight. So I should not worry about my decisions or my emotions or my attachment. I should simply follow Krishna. So he is just thinking, no, 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 it's my family. I have a reason to decide. I am a responsible family member, and I have to decide now. So like that, he is then keeping a bodily connection and trying to justify. So then Prabhupada mentions it's a bodily conception actually. These two things we should understand. Okay, another thing, paraya kripa is mentioned. Aparaya, if you do sandhi vichhed, aparaya kripaya. So earlier he was worried about his family members or his army. Now he's more than he's also worried about others also. Aparaya. Para matlab para means paraya, apara. So not only his people but also opposing army also he is worried about. So therefore the two meanings of that. Either you if you see in aparaya kripaya means he is worried about other opposing army, and when you see only paraya kripaya it means he is extremely compassionate for all the people there. Para, it's not a material compassion, or not compassion, you can say the affection, like that. Okay? So yes, so we'll go ahead. So we completed till this verse. Correct, na? 28, 29 we have to do, na? How many of you remember? याद है कितना किया था? ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, 1-2 वर्स इज ओके. अर्जुन उवाच दृष्ट्वेवां स्वजनं कृष्ण युयुत्सुं समुपस्थितं सिदन्तिं मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति वेपुतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाण्डिवं संसृते हत्वा त्वच्चैव परिदह्यते. या 10 shloka. Who will read? Translation. Ashish Tiwari Pro. Yes, you can read. You have to unmute him. Haribol. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Arjun said, "My dear Krishna, seeing my friend and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on the end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning."
So there are 6 symptoms are given here, which Arjuna is feeling because of extreme sorrow. He is feeling the 6 symptoms in his body. Yes, you can read this translation. Purport.
There, there are two kinds of trembling of body and two kinds of standing of hair on the end. Such phenomena occurs either in the great spirit's ecstasy or out of great fear. Under material conditions, there is no fear in transcendental realization. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. This is evident from other symptoms also. He became so impatient that his famous bow Gandiva was slipping from his hand. And because his heart was burning within him, he was feeling a burning sensation of the skin. All these are due to material conception of life.
See, immediately you can see here, Prabhupada in previous verse mentioning, it is not weakness of Arjuna, weakness of heart of Arjuna, it is a pure devotee symptom, and in this purport he says it's a material conception of life. So it can be there, because Lord is intervening in the whole pastime here. So Lord is bewildering him, as well as also Lord is allowing him to show compassion for his family members. So it's a material conception. What is a material conception? Material conception means we start fearing. We start fearing. We start fearing death of our kinsman, of our own self. And we always decide anything based upon that fear. Any decision we take, we take the decision based on the fear, not based on dharma, not based on some superior principles. Then that becomes material fear. So here, Prabhupada says that in spiritual world or in transcendental realization, there is no fear. Sometimes we hear like Radharani, when she, in one pastime, when Madhu Mangal said, "Oh, Madhu has gone away," because one Madhu, one small Madhu, this Madhumakhi. So it was just wandering and roaming around and then making some disturbance. So Krishna said, "Hey, get away this Madhu," and then Madhu Mangal did that and got away. And then he said, "Oh, Madhu has gone." Then Radharani was sitting there only, and she thought that, "Oh, Krishna has gone away." And she became fearful. Oh, where Krishna has gone? See, so you may say that, but Prabhupada is mentioning no fear here. In spiritual life also fear happens, but that fear gives ecstasy. That fear does not give this kind of symptoms, what is mentioned here. So that fear also, losing Krishna, like Rukmini, when she was about to get married with Krishna, she was quite fearful whether means if Krishna does not come and take me away from here, then Sisupal will marry me. So she was fearful that time. So we should understand that fear does not create any wrong kind of or death symptoms, or a kind of sorrow. No, even they may cry also, but that crying also giving them ecstasy, because they understand internally that Krishna is always with me. That basis is there, the basis of faith is there. They never think that Krishna will die or I will die. No, there is no question of death only in spiritual life. They may only feel separation, and that separation gives you feeling of ecstasy. And how is it feeling separation giving ecstasy? Because that person will remember Krishna more and more, and that gives ecstasy. Now gopis, when Krishna went to Mathura, and then gopis, they are not able to do their homely chores, household chores, they are not able to do, and they are all the time lamenting, and they're thinking, and they are basically they are trying to forget Krishna. They are doing some meditation also to forget Krishna, but they're not able to do that. And so it is also mentioned that Radharani, at that time when Uddhava comes, he sees that she goes into the great fever. Her bodily temperature increases more and more and more and more because of separation from Krishna. So again, that temperature is not going to make her die, but they will show that I'm going to die. I'm going to die. But that kind of even feeling or that kind of even symptoms is giving them ecstasy. You should understand. So this is the difference between the material feelings and spiritual feelings. The difference is there. Okay. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says that in the in Chaitanya Charitamrita there's a comparison how this all thing happens. Like a sugarcane juice, if you condense it more, then it becomes molasses and then candy and more and more and more. So like he says that the more rasa becomes more condensed, the feelings also become very intense. Actually, feelings become very intense, and so the Mahabhava is like that, the highest condensed nectar, Mahabhava. So in that Mahabhav, even little separation also, person becomes very agitated, but that agitation gives them the feeling of ecstasy actually, like that. Not giving the feeling of death or something loss, great loss. So it's mentioned here. So this kind of feeling is material conception of life. न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीं च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव.
I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I see only cause of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of Takesi's demon.
Hmm. Yes, you can read this highlighted part.
SB 11.2.37, such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The word nimittani viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectation, he thinks, why am I here? Is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self interest by Krishna's will.
Hmm. So now this is a sloka from 11th canto. Bhayam dvitiya abhinivesatah syat. Bhayam dvitiya abhinivesatah syat. So bhayam is created when dvitiya. Dvitiya means when you consider yourself as something else. You have double identity. I am a soul, but my identity is now body. So that is dvitiya. And abhiniveshata means I am absorbed in that second identity. That is why bhayam is there. So bhayam is there because of material identification. So such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in a person who are too affected by material condition. So it is said, fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Means somebody gets failed in some exam or some ordeal, some competition. So if he gets failed, so okay, he is failed only in one exam or in one attempt. But when the fear overpowers a person or it obsesses a person, that person even cannot give many exams. He will think himself, I am too duffer, I am so lazy, I am so unintelligent, because he is overcome by the fear of failure of exam. So therefore, this is a real story. Means many times those who perform go for competitive exams, and every exam ultimately the last days when they start approaching, so everybody starts now gearing up their speed. So then, so one boy, he was like that, and he was very hardworking. He did that. He went to coaching. He did all his studies. At last, because of some misfortune, whatever, he started trying some very advanced books, advanced questions in his exam, and those questions he was not able to solve. And then he became so depressed. Oh, for whole year I went for coaching, I did so much hard work, now I'm not able to solve. And he did not get good counseling. So but because of that fear, 1 month before, he became so depressed that he was not able to sit and study and not even able to sleep also. Because when he used to sleep, then he used to think about the result and the money which he spent for coaching. My parents, what they will say, they will chastise me. And when he's going for, when he has to sit for his preparation, he used to think, how can I solve this question? I don't know how to solve. So then this person, when after 1 month, when exam paper came in front, and then when he saw the paper, he understood. If I could have just prepared or revised my own institute syllabus, I could have nicely performed in this exam. But because he was so, like fear is like a python. Python looks very small, but it can engulf the whole personality. Big person also can be engulfed by a python. So fear is like that. It comes like a small, but it engulfs a whole person. So Arjuna, even though just after 45 minutes of Bhagavad Gita hearing, the whole fear went away. But kind of symptoms is showing that he will die only now. On the battlefield, there will be Ram Nam Satya hai, Ram Nam Satya hai. Whom? For Arjuna only. Because he's not going to fight. So kind of symptoms is showing ki is such a big problem in front of me, I can never solve Krishna. So this happens in all of us our life. when we have too much attachment for certain bodily or material things, then Prabhupada says the person start thinking, why am I here? Huh? Everyone is interested in himself, Prabhupada says. Everyone is interested in own welfare. No one is interested in Supreme Self. So whenever we are in such condition of great fear, we should immediately withdraw our mind, or basically we should take help of those people who are free from such fear and who can guide us. And we should start thinking about the Supreme Self. Become interested into Supreme Self. Then you can get rid of your fear, because this fear is produced by bhayam dvitiya abhinivasata syat. So like that. Another thing, here the word used nimittani. Nimitta, the word nimitta has two meaning. One is the instrument. Later, nimitta bhava savasachi. Krishna says, just become a nimitta. Savyasachi is the name of Arjuna. Nimitta bhava savyasachi. You just become a nimitta for me, Arjuna. I have planned to kill all these people. You just become instrument in my hand. But here the nimitta is used by Acharya, or the word is used here, nimitta means last result, ultimate result. So Arjuna is saying, nimittani viparitani. I am seeing ultimate result is all opposite only, viparitani, all opposite result I am seeing. And my mind is reeling now. I cannot see any good fortune. Okay, this is the thing. End result, nimittani is end result here. न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. Yes.
Yeah. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness.
Ah, yes. I cannot see anything good coming from killing my own kinsman. So he is not just saying from emotional point of view, he is saying from dharmic point of view, as you will come to know. He will prove everything, Arjuna. So Prabhupada says, without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu, conditioned souls are attracted by the bodily relationship, hoping to be happy in such situation. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. What is the cause of material happiness? The cause of material happiness actually is again the spirit, because everything matter is run through the spirit. The Lord is the Supreme Spirit. He is bestowing us our happiness and misery according to our destiny and the work. So we forget only that Vishnu is the cause of everything. And so He is giving me the happiness, the results, and the sorrow. So when we forget the ultimate cause and we just become bogged up or become interested in only immediate things, okay, if I do good, I get good. If I don't do good, I will not get good. These are immediate things. So in these immediate things, we are not concerned about the supreme absolute truth, who is the ultimate cause of our material happiness and distress. So therefore, it is mentioned here, this is a blind conception. Many times the seminars of self-help books, they basically speak about the immediate changing the immediate things. Or at the best, they will say that you change your words or consciousness. But if the consciousness is not directed towards supreme consciousness, there will be no shelter for the our consciousness. After some time, our consciousness will become again frustrated. Therefore, Jnani Prabhupada says, after too much austerity, they again come back to doing Samaj Seva. Why? Because they have raised their consciousness so much by so much austerity, they become frustrated. Well, what is this consciousness? I'm not getting any rasa only. So then they again come back to doing material seva. Eh? Like Christians, missionaries, uh, they're nuns. There are many like missionary nuns and others. So what they do, these Christian missionaries, people, actually they have a training for 6 7 years. So they have to commit whether they will become committed members throughout the whole life. And so they will run the schools and colleges, whatever. So their understanding is now what? That we have to give our life just to serve the society, and which is the best way to serve, to just open schools, uh, and then serve these children. And from beginning only they start giving the Christian knowledge, biblical knowledge to all these children, so that they will become Christian tomorrow. Because if you just capture a person from birth only or from infant time only, so then you can nicely groom him according to your philosophy, conception. So like that they do. But when you talk to them, they will say that actually everything is adhatmya, everything is spiritual. I am also working for spiritual, you are also working for spiritual actually. So we have Jesus, we have Krishna, there is no difference actually. But what is the difference serving to children, like serving in schools, teaching them some material subject? Is it a spiritual thing? It's not a spiritual thing. But the misconception is there. Yeah. Because they are not able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore any religion, any kind of work, if it is not based upon the service to Supreme, it is basically material. It is basically material. Howsoever propaganda we may do that we are doing with some spiritual cause. No. Are you worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead through your work? Are you doing some devotional service for Him? No. So then everything becomes material. So this is the thing here. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. So Prabhupada mentions this thing. There are two kinds of people who are eligible to go to sun globe after death. Who are those? Who fight with other person. A Kshatriya fighting other person, and when he dies facing the enemy, if the Kshatriya dies facing the army or the enemy, then he will go to sun globe. If he just facing his back, he will not go. So therefore it is said, when you die, you should not die showing your back. You should die showing your face. So then you will go to sun globe. And another person who goes to sun globe is a highly advanced yogi. Here Prabhupada says sannyasi, highly advanced sannyasis or yogis. When they also pass away from this world, they go to sun globe. But what about Arjuna, who is fighting in the war? He will not go. Because Shastra does not give any statement, because you are fighting, you will go. No. So Arjuna is saying, there is no statement of Shastra for me. Why I should fight then? When I fight facing my enemy and I die, then I will go to sun globe. But while I am fighting, there is no statement, no encouragement for me. He thinks that by killing his killsman, there will be no happiness in the life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger, he is not inclined to cook. So Prabhupada is saying this thing, and this is given by Acharya down here. So a person should be also worried about his duty. So see, duty is higher than our feelings. If somebody is not feeling to cook, then he has to cook for his family members actually. Yes, I don't like to cook, I don't like to wake up. Okay, you don't like to wake up, but do you assume some role in the family or not? Do you have some roles in your family or not? No, he can also do, or she can also do. So therefore, our feelings should be subordinate to our duties. This is a very, very important thing. Otherwise, the whole training of Varnashrama or Gurukulas is just to train us to control our mind and senses, so that we focus on the duties given in the Dharma Shastras, more than worrying about our emotions. Therefore, people in previous time were very strict for anything. Like if they say, okay, according to Dharma, I have to send for 14 years to exile to the forest, Lord Ramchandra. He said, yes, I will go now. He immediately accepted it. I will go now. But in today's time, like I was giving one Bhaktivedanta class. So Mataji said, Prabhuji, whatever you may say, but this is not correct. I said, what? So Mataji said that Lord Ram banished Mother Sita to forest in the ashram of Balmiki Muni. That is not correct. That we cannot think to be a good behavior. So yes, many times we see in that way. So we have to also understand, and she said that actually Lord Ram has not done the right thing, actually it's the wrong thing. So then we said that actually Lord Ram or Krishna or Supreme Personality of Godhead can never do wrong. First the philosophy should be understood. He can never do wrong at all. This is the basis, first thing. Then go ahead. When he cannot do anything wrong, then am I understanding his pastime properly? Then we have to read from scriptures, we have to hear from Acharya. So we should understand Lord Ram is a very ideal, perfect king. And his ideals are so high, you cannot practice only. You can only pay obeisances and you can follow in his footsteps. You may not be able to practice it. So, okay, you cannot send away your wife for such reasons, but you have to understand this is a Lord Ram, he can do. Like Prabhupada, when some of his sannyasi fell down, the Prabhupada was asked, "Ki Chaitanya Mahaprabhu punished Chota Haridas." So he said, he's a God himself, he can punish, but I cannot punish these sannyasis. I have no one to support me for preaching. I need their help actually. So Prabhupada became more compassionate. He understood that I cannot do what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had done. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he has done is not wrong. It's not wrong because Supreme Personality of Godhead can never do wrong things. We cannot just start mixing with our morality, wrong, right, wrong, right. Everything what Lord does is perfect. We have to understand with the perfect understanding given by scriptures and Acharya. So Lord Ram is showing highest ideal example by going to forest, by banishing his wife. So such a highest ideal example for a king to follow. So this thing actually. So here it's mentioned that, but as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence because Kshatriya cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins. So see, another thing Arjuna is wanting to go to forest in future sloka is going to come. So sometimes this happens. One likes to change one's natural occupational duty. Okay, this is not happening, let me give up everything. But the desires never go away. Desires are always there. Therefore, Krishna in third chapter of Gita, he mentions to Arjuna, ki better to be a sincere person with some materialistic desire, whatever, but that sincere person should control his desires and work without attachment to the result. That is more better than a chartland meditator who is simply sitting and doing meditation for the want of living. Okay, somebody will give me some chapati so that I can live, I can chant some rounds. I will not go and start working in the world. But I have certain desires. Okay, these desires I can fulfill while I am remaining a renunciate also. So I will do some illicit thing also and I will remain. I will start filling my belly also. So Krishna says this is not good. Karma indriyani samyamya. Yukta as manasa asmaran. So he says that your karma indriyani samyamya means you are stopping your karma indriya to act, but manasa asmaran, you are remembering the sense gratification in your mind. That is not good. Better, what you should be doing, you should take the regulated sense gratification in your life and become detached from your result of your work and proceed ahead. Because everyone has to go to back to Godhead. Everyone's business is to go back to Godhead. One can be in this ashram, one can be in that ashram, but one has to be careful that one should not be false meditator. Pseudo meditator, pseudo transcendentalist. At the same time, one should not be totally like a materialist person, just in the name of I am also devotee, but he is not doing his proper dharma also. So for both the personality it's mentioned. So Arjuna, he wants to become a meditator, false meditator, sannyasi. But his duty is to basically rule. He cannot and start begging. See, if Arjuna goes for begging with a begging bowl, and then somebody does not give, and then start insulting him, what Arjuna will do? Take out the sword or take out his bow and arrow and say, you know who am I? Who are you? I am son of Bharata. I am Pandu's son. My arrows never fail. And my sword also never fail. And immediately will challenge the person. Immediately. So all his begging's business is a farce. It's all farce. It will never be successful. The Kshatriyas, they cannot beg actually. They have to rule the kingdom. That is what Krishna is mentioning. So, so this is very important again. For Kshatriyas, they have to be given a place for ruling. So here, Parasar Smriti mentions the two things what we discussed. Dwa imo purusau loke surya mandala bhedino parivrad yoga yuktas cha rane chabhimukhe hata. Two kind of people go to sun planet, engaged in yoga, sannyasi engaged in yoga, and warrior dying facing the enemy. Like that. Therefore, we have seen some videos, some movies where some great warrior, when he's being killed, he will not show the back, he will show his face and die. So this is very important. When dying, also one should show the face and die. Otherwise, he will not go to sun planet. Means higher destination he will not achieve. This is important. Yeah. Arjuna is saying, Baldev Vidyabhushan writes here, that because of giving desire for, so I do not desire these things, I don't need kingdom, I don't need wealth. Because of giving up desire for kingdom and wealth, I have no interest in attaining victory to attain, I have no interest in attaining victory to attain it, just as a person who has lost interest in food has no interest in cooking. Therefore, the living in the forest would be more commendable means for maintaining my life. So he is taking a resort of non-violence principle. किं नो राजेन गोविंद किं भोगैर्जीवतेन वा येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च तैमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्य पितरः पौत्रास्तथैव च पितामहा मातुला स्वसुरा पौत्राः श्याला सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान् हन्तुमिच्छामि घ्नोतीपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराजस्य हेतोः किं न मही कृते निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रन्नः का प्रीति स्याञ्जनार्दन. Yes. Who is that
Yeah.
devotee?
O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those of for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncle, father-in-law, grandson, brother-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange of the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sun? O
Yes, killing the sons of
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra, yeah.
So Arjuna is showing very great renunciation here. Even somebody can give him the three worlds also. He's not let alone this world. Earth is very small. Even if you give me the three world, Bhur Bhuva Swaha, all the upper planet, down planet, middle planet, everything you give me, still I will not fight. That is his real words. Uh, like his detachment is so big actually. He's so much renounced. He does not really want anything material for himself to enjoy. So he's showing, but actually it's a false actually. Even the Arjuna may claim that I don't want anything, but Krishna knows that he needs something. Krishna knows that, and at least my devotee, my pure devotee, he has a duty on my behalf. He may not desire anything, but he has duty on my behalf. I want to make him a king, and he should be the king. Because otherwise, how I will establish the religion in the world if my devotees are not supporting me? If my devotees are not nimitta for me, then whom I will go and start begging, oh please become my devotee and start following what I say. So this is a perfect devotee Arjuna. Why he is in so much misery? Why in so much bewilderment? He should follow me. That is a Krishna's desire for Arjuna. Yes. So now here Prabhupada mentions ki Arjuna says here Govinda, Kimno Rajena Govinda. This is quite recited verse. Kimno Rajena Govinda, Kim Bhogar Jivatena va. Yesham Arthe Kangshitam no. For those people whom we want all this Rajya and Bhoga, they are standing in front of me. What is the use of fighting? I want all the kingdoms and enjoyment for these people only, that they should remain with me and enjoy. We will all enjoy together. But they are standing in front of me and I have to kill them. So this is such a great irony actually. So he says, Prabhupada says that Govinda means Krishna is object of all pleasure for cows and senses. Govinda means Govinda. Go means senses and go means cow. And go means earth also. Go also means earth. And Vind means one who gives enjoyment. So one who gives enjoyment to cow, to senses and to earth, Mother Earth. So then that is called Govinda. Now Arjuna is using Govinda for himself. Okay, Govinda, satisfy my senses. This Prabhupada is saying this should not be. Govinda means giving pleasure to senses, means we have to give pleasure to his senses, then he will give pleasure to our senses. That is the meaning of Govinda. When you satisfy Krishna, we become satisfied. Not that, Govinda, your name is Govinda, okay, give satisfaction to my senses. So that is wrong. Therefore, Prabhupada is saying that is wrong here. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses, and he therefore wants God to be the order supplier for his such satisfaction. Yes, the Lord will satisfy the senses of living entity as much as they deserve, not to the extent that they may covet. If they are greedy, their senses will not be satisfied. Yeah, that's why you find even this world, the world is made in such a way. If even a single person becomes greedy, or his mind is not controlled, or he is not having any santosh, so howsoever amount of opulence he may gain through his power, through his success, he will not be having peace of mind and will not be having sukha santi. Nothing will be there. The first requisite for enjoying any happiness is a calm, collected mind, calm, cooled mind. So one should have a calm mind, then only he can enjoy anything. This is very important thing. Sometimes, like those who are in passionate, means they very passionate people, they think enjoyment means every time some agitation should come in me. Every time some agitation should be there. Like somebody should say, oh, let us have a party. Oh, party, what? Oh, we'll eat pizza, burger, sab khayenge, maje karenge. So this is one kind of agitation. Oh, very nice. I have a lot of liking for eating such things. Let us go ahead. And then somebody says, oh, such a new project is coming. So would you like to be a part of this project? Oh, yes, yes. How much I will get? Some revenue, some more money? Yes, yes. Some hike will be there in your salary. So some kind of agitation should be there for passionate people all the time. And whenever there is no agitation for such people, they feel life is boredom. Because they have never understood that happiness can only be enjoyed in a calm consciousness. Always need some agitation, always. So therefore these people, if somebody asks, where are you running? No, I am very busy. Where are you busy? Oh, no, I am busy. So passionate people are like that. Sangha Trishna. Sangha Trishna. So they are characterized by Sangha Trishna. Attachment for opposite sex, and Trishna means attraction for material objects, hankering for obtaining such material objects. So these are passionate people. So they always want God to satisfy their senses. Oh God, you are not satisfying my senses. I did so much thing for you. Satisfy my senses. So here Prabhupada says Govinda does not mean. So Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion. Now what is the material life? Everyone wants to show importance to friend and relative, but Arjuna fears that all of relatives and friends will be died. They will be dying in the battlefield. So this is material life, typical calculation of material life. I don't want my people to suffer. So therefore, and if they suffer for even right cause, no, I don't want to suffer for right cause also. Like nowadays, what happens that government has said that children should not be punished or they should not be chastised in schools. And even parents also say to the teacher, never punish my child. If you punish and if he gives me report, then aapki to khair nahi hogi. So now this has become the rule in the education. We went to one school and we asked, what is the problem in school? So he said, principal said, we cannot punish any child. We cannot even threaten them. We cannot even chastise them. So this is again more materialistic conception. We fear that, okay, if he's chastised, if he's doing something, or I am getting at loss. My sense gratification is thwarted now. So any love or any training has two aspects. One is encouragement, other is chastisement. It happens through that. Both things should. Now Arjuna is being chastised by Krishna here. Unless Arjuna is chastised, because every person who wants to be trained, he will have some mistakes in his life, he will do something wrong, and so for that he has to be chastised. What to speak of children? Children are the most wrongdoers. They don't have any training only. They speak all lies, they eat all nonsense. उनको अगर train नहीं किया तो पूरा गड़बड़ी करने वाले हो. So we don't want to train children properly, and then we want to say we want to make a good future in India. What kind of good future will make? Here, same materialistic conception, fear from inside, and also fear for everyone. But transcendental life is what? Devotee wants to satisfy the desire of the Lord. And he accepts all kind of opulence for the service of the Lord. See, this is very important what Prabhupada is writing. See, if Lord is not willing, he should not accept the farthing. But if Lord is willing, he should accept the even big palace also. So one time somebody said, like Radhanath Maharaj, he was sharing in his Journey Home books, that he was very much keen to live under the trees of Vrindavan. And some of the devotees, they said that Prabhupada wants you to live in temple. And then he said that living in temple, living in such a palatial building, I don't like. So then the devotees said that if your spiritual master wants you to live in palatial building, that is not sense gratification. But if you want to live in under some tree, forgetting the instruction of spiritual master, that is sense gratification. If your spiritual master wants you to live there, that is not sense gratification, that is service to spiritual master. So here also same thing. If Krishna wants Arjuna to fight, that is his service. Krishna wants Arjuna to accept the kingdom, that is the service. When Krishna wants, okay, you should now go away and now take renunciation. Now no need to live inside. And then he wants to be in the kingdom, then that is sense gratification. So everything decided according to the will of Lord. So here it's mentioned. So that is the spiritual life actually. So and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna. Now what second thing? Arjuna did not want to kill relative. He said, Krishna, you only kill. Why are you telling me to kill? You only kill. मेरे को पाप में मत डालो, because you are God and no sin will come upon you and you can kill anyone. So better you do not. Why you are dragging me to fight? Yes. So he's saying like that. So Krishna had already killed them before they're coming into the battlefield, and he had to only become the instrument. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against his miscreants, cousins and brothers. But it was the Lord's plan that they should be killed. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to any devotee by the miscreant. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, Lord wanted to punish. And Arjuna can say, Lord, I am forgiving now. You should not worry. I am forgiving. But then Lord may say, you are forgiving. Whether Draupadi will forgive, whether Bhima will forgive, I have to worry about my all devotees. So therefore, I have already decided to kill them. Now you have to just follow me. So there's some discussion mentioned here by Acharya. If you, being very merciful, will not kill them, they will certainly kill you and obtain the kingdom without opposition. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, I have no desire to kill them, even if they attack me. Even if I attain a kingdom of the three worlds, what to speak of attaining just this earth? Apart from others, at least these sons of Dhritarashtra should be killed. Okay, don't kill Dronacharya and Bhishma. At least kill Dhritarashtra's son, because it is possible to be happy having killed those who give so much trouble. Then what he is saying? Having killed Duryodhana and others, what peace would we Pandavas who remain have? None at all. It is not proper to kill brothers for the temporary semblance of happiness, but which would lead to a long term of suffering in the hell. O Janardana, if they are to be killed, then you who come to relieve the earth of this burden should kill them. It is not possible for you, the Supreme Lord, to suffer the effect of sins. Same thing what we discussed. You can kill, you come for establishing dharma, you only kill, you will not be suffering any sins, so you better kill. So Arjuna is, okay, one thing is he is not ready to kill his acharyas, his Gurudev or his superiors. At least kill your enemies. No, even enemy also I will not kill, because if I kill my brothers who are my enemy, I will go to hell. So he's not ready at all. पापमेव श्रयेदस्मान् हत्वेतानाततायिन तस्मान् अर्हा वयं हन्तु धार्तराष्ट्रान् सम्बान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. Yes, I think we can change next devotee who can be. So one Mataji, one Prabhuji, like that will suffer. Mataji can be there. One Mataji who would like to opt to read. Ah, yes, okay. Swami Mataji, Swami, yes, Mataji, yes, you can read.
मुझे कहाँ से पढ़ना है?
Ah, from here, sin will overcome. Yes.
Okay. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain? O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen?
Madhava. So here Madhava word is used, Madhava. Prabhupada mentions later. Arjuna addressing Krishna as Madhava or goddess of husband of goddess of fortune is significant in this connection. He wanted to point out Krishna that as husband of goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring misfortune. This is the meaning of Madhava. You are a Madhava, husband of goddess of fortune. Don't bring misfortune in my life. Let me remain peaceful. I should not fight. Now Prabhupada mentions here Arjuna, these statements, why Arjuna is saying they are Atataina. Atataina means aggressors. I know that. But even though they are Atataina, I don't want to kill them. But Prabhupada mentions in purport that these 6 kind of Atataina, who are those? One who gives poison, one who sets fire to one's house, one who attacks with deadly weapon, one who plunders riches, one who takes away the land of somebody, other person, and one who kidnaps the wife of somebody. So these 6 kind of people are called aggressors, and they can be killed, and no sins will come to that person who kills. So no sins will come. Okay, no sins will come. So then they should be killed. So this statement is according to Artha Shastra. Acharya says Dharma Shastra is superior to Artha Shastra. Dharma Shastra says that himsvat ma hinsayat. Don't do hinsa. And Arjuna is thinking, okay, I will follow the Dharma Shastra, the higher religious principle. I will not do any kind of killing here of my brothers and on my family. So Prabhupada gives an example here of Lord Ramachandra. Such a killing of aggressor is quite befitting any ordinary, but Arjuna is not an ordinary man. He was a saintly in character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for Kshatriya. Just see, mentioned very clearly. Although a responsible man in administration of the state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Ramachandra, he was so saintly that people till today, they want to establish Ram Rajya. Yes. So then, but he challenged Ravana, and he showed, Prabhupada says, he gave him such a lesson that it is unparalleled in the history of the world. So Ravana was, means you can say, brutally killed by Lord Ramachandra. He killed all his people, his sons, his brothers, his army, his ministers, everybody just खत्म कर दिया भगवान ने, एक को भी नहीं छोड़ा. So Prabhupada mentions that. But in Arjuna case, one should consider the special case type of aggressors, basically because they were his own family member. Ravana was a Rakshasa. So he was the personality who should be killed because he has made even demigods also to suffer. See, Ravana was such a big personality in terms of his wrong activities. So he used to employ demigods for cooking in his kitchen. Like sabji has to be cut, so Indra will cut the sabji. Now कहीं से पानी लाना है तो वो वरुण को बोलेगा पानी लेके आओ चलो. So they were cooking in his kitchen. And Navagrahas, basically they control our destiny or this astrology. He has brought all the Navagrahas and put on his steps when he used to ascend to the Singhasan where he used to sit. So there are some steps before that. So he had put all the Navagrahas on those steps, and when he used to ascend, he used to put the feet on their head and he used to go to the Singhasan. That was his power. And if the sun is too much hot, he used to just see towards sun, hey, garmi kam karo. Sun has to cool down. And if there rainy season, no sun has to come, then he will tell, hey, sun, please come. Or no, please word is not used only, come now. The sun used to come and then used to give heat even in the rainy season. That was Ravana. So therefore, no demigods could stand in front of him. So Lord Ramachandra, he took nice, you can say, retaliation against him. He killed him. But Arjuna case is special. Besides that, the saintly person are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly person are more important than any political emergency. For saintly person, okay, it's important. They should not retaliate. But when it comes to a king, Kshatriya, he has to really make out some solution, because these aggressors are not simply troubling Arjuna's family, but their character is so nasty that they are spreading sense gratification and wrong dharmic principles in the kingdom. Duryodhana was not a very good person. So, so it's like that. So here he should not have, Arjuna is taking the Dharma Shastra to be superior to Artha Shastra. All acharyas mention. Arjuna answers with these words: killing them, we will remain living, but we will be sinful. The above instructions are from Artha Shastra, but those instructions are weaker than from Dharma Shastra. Yajnavalkya says, Smrityor virodhe nyasyas tu balavan vyavaharatah. Artha Shastras tu balavan dharma shastram iti stitaha. It is established that where there is conflict of rules in two Smriti statements, the reasoning must prevail in choosing the correct rule. However, in the reasoning, the rules of Dharma Shastra are stronger than the Artha Shastra. Thus, though they were aggressors, they are also acharyas. In killing acharyas, we will incur sin. We cannot be happy in the life. Like that he is saying. So what is the statement? Ma himsyat sarvabhutani. This is a statement of Dharma Shastra. The Dharma Shastra says never show any himsa to anyone. But Artha Shastra says they are aggressors, you have to kill them, no sins will come. So Arjuna is taking this statement in his life. Ma himsayat sarvabhutani. I am a sadhu, I am a kshatriya, I will still be sadhu, and I will not show any himsa. So Smriti Shastra says, Artha Shastras tu balavad dharma shastram iti stitaha. The rules of Dharma Shastra are stronger than those of Artha Shastra. Yajnavalkya says that. So, na cha shreyo anupashyami. I am not saying any long-term benefit in such fighting. He is saying like that. Now this is here important. Okay. Okay. No, in some other words it will mention. Yes. यद्यपि एतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकं कथं न गेयमस्माभिः पापदस्मान् निवर्तितुं कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं प्रपश्याद्भिः जनार्दन.
O Janardhan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin?
The people who live a life of values, they always think that whatever activity I do, what will be the consequences of those activities. They will never do any activity without worrying about the consequences of such activities. This is a training for people who live their life with values, or Arya Patha. So Aryas means those who know Arya civilization. It's not today's Arya civilization, we are not saying that one. Aryan means Prabhupada says civilized people. The civilized people always look Whether Dharma Shastra says something about this, Artha Shastra says something about this, whether I am doing something irreligious or religious. So, like that actually. So, therefore, you find when people are so trained in these dharmic scriptures and their thought process is also like that, before committing any act, they will think about the consequences. So, therefore, such people have higher facility than those people who do not know anything about dharma, like Kali Yuga people. So therefore our facilities are too minimized, very much minimized, because we are not ready for accepting also Vedic literature. We are not ready to even follow also Vedic literature. So our facilities, our freedom has been curtailed actually. So Arjuna is saying, even though they may want to fight because of greed, why the rational people like us, we should also commit the same mistake? He said human is a rational animal. So rational means he worries about the moral behaviors. What is moral, what is immoral. If a human does not worry about moral and immoral, he should not be considered human. So he had said, a Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse battle or gamble when he is so invited for such rival party. Under such obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight, but because he has been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of a challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, no one can be bound. Yes, correct. Like according to dharma, if Kshatriya is challenged by somebody for playing gambling, okay, he has to play. But by playing gambling, if consequence is very drastic, very disastrous, so whether I should just follow the dharmic principles like Yudhishthira Maharaj played gambling, whether it was correct, it was not correct. It was not correct, actually. And Krishna showed, Prabhupada writes in some other purport in Bhagavatam, devotees are not very expert in gambling and other things. And therefore, when Yudhishthira Maharaj lost this match, so Krishna showed through the example of Yudhishthira Maharaj, if you play such gambling and want to be expert, you will be failure. So for in materialistic activities, devotees are not very expert and they need not to be also. So this is sinful. So for Kshatriyas, it was allowed in previous ages. They can play gambling. They can even eat meat also. So that was allowed for Kshatriyas. But at the same time, Kshatriya used to also perform yagyas to counteract their sins or counteract their day-to-day, like those activity which was not according to the highest mode of goodness activities. So then they used to counteract through their yagyas. So Kshatriya has to do a lot of charity, lot of yagya, like that. So Kshatriyas are expert in two things. They are expert in occupying the kingdom by fighting, and they are also expert in giving lot of charity. So these two things Prabhupada says. So not only, see, if you want to really see the Kshatriya, Kshatriya means he's a very valiant person, very powerful person, and he can rule over anyone. Ishwar bhavasya, Ishwar bhava. And another thing, generous person. If somebody comes, Raja, can you give me some proper person should come, not some beggars and start begging. No, some brahmana should come. Some proper follower of dharma person comes and asks from the king, and king is ready to give charity. Okay, take away this place. This place belongs to you. So this is a Kshatriya who collects, who gives also. His heart is so big, he gives also. So like that. So obligation never binds if the consequences are wrong. So one should always use one's intelligence. Even the dharmic statement may say that you should fight, but one should use intelligence. Whether the consequence is going to be wrong, then I should rethink about my decision. Ahuto na nivarteta dyutad api ranad api. Mahabharata says one should, when a Kshatriya is challenged for dyutad means gambling and ranad means battle fighting, he should not reject such challenge. But once again, Arjuna says that I am not motivated by greed and I am seeing all the bad consequences are going to happen. So why I should follow this statement of Shastra? Like that he is saying. कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्मा सनातना धर्मे नष्टे कुलं कृष्णम् अधर्मोऽभिभवत्युत.
With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion.
Yes. So now, Arjuna, so in shloka number 28 to 30, he is talking about compassion for friends and relatives. 28 to 30, his problem or his reason for not fighting is I am feeling compassion for my family member. They will be killed in the battle, so I don't want to fight. Now, in the shloka 31 to 35, he is going to tell about no enjoyment even after victory. No enjoyment will be there even after victory. And in sloka number 36 to 38, fear of sinful reaction. So just now we saw a fear of sinful reaction. He does not want, he is saying, Madhava, you don't bring misfortune in my life. You only kill them. So actually I should have told beforehand all these things. So you are seeing Kimno Rajena Govindo, Kimna Bhoga Jivitena Va. So that slokas they are telling about how I will enjoy these all kingdom and opulence without my family members. So that is no enjoyment even if I am victorious. 31 to 35. Before that, uh, he says that Papa Meva Asrayad Asman, that Hatvetainaha. Oh no, so that is sorry, that is 36 38. Papa Meva means I am getting fear of sinful reactions, so I don't want to fight. And before that, it comes to 28 to 30. I'll just show you what is a shloka. 28 to 30. Yes, yes. Nimittani viparitani. Yes, that one. Uh, Nimittani viparitani. Yes. So here he is having a lot of compassion for his family members. So he's saying that I'm only seeing all Biprit, all contrary activities are going to follow after I kill all these people. So therefore, I'm feeling a lot of compassion for them. So Swajanam Ahavim. These are all my Swajana. I have love for them. I have care for them. So I don't want to kill. So 28 to 30, 28 to 30 talks about compassion for the friends and relatives. And 31st to 35, no enjoyment even if victorious. And 36 to 38, fear of sinful reactions. Now we are going to 39 to 43, destruction of family traditions. This is another reason why Arjuna does not want to fight. Destruction of family tradition. So destruction of dynasty, then the family tradition is vanquished. And then the rest of the family becomes involved in religion. So see, this is like Varnashram system. Basically, this is a material system, surely. Uh, it's a material system. And in material world, actually, any kind of even dharma also, it does not remain so straightforward. It has to be also changed sometimes. Means what you mean by that? Like here Arjuna is saying, Arjuna is giving a very big reason. Killing 64 crore people just because I want kingdom is not very good. And so many elderly members will be killed. So then family tradition will be destroyed. So why this killing should be done? But now Krishna has another plan. He knows that I know that in material world the things become so much worse. Sometimes for improving the situation you have to make so much wrong things, or you have to dismantle the right things many times just for improving the situations. So but Krishna is taking onus. No, koi baat nahi. I will kill all of these people and I will still establish the religious principle. I will still do that. Don't worry about that. So Krishna is taking this onus on himself. Even though Arjuna is telling the right thing, but still Krishna is taking the onus here. 1 minute. Okay. In the system of Varnashram institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help family members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying process in the family, beginning from the birth to death. But on the death of the elder member, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder member of the family be slain. So here it's said here. So elder members of the family, they were responsible for putting religious activities in the household life. They used to engage all members down the line. Till date, we find even in if you see any kind of families where some old traditions are going on, you find who are the main impetus for those, who are main instigator. These are the elderly members. I know that some family said, "Oh, my mother-in-law is calling and then saying that we have to do this rituals. So shall we do or not?" So even though we are living in city, mother-in-law will call from village. Are you doing or not? Now this new function has come, new season has come. You have to do this thing. So they worry about that. Actually, it happens. So they were from uh, Varnashram training, whatever remaining Varnashram training was there. So they were from that training. So here it mentioned, Prabhupada mentions that like people do Navratri, yeah. People do so in UP, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, they do Chhat Puja and Sankranti, yeah. And then many other like here in Maharashtra, Akshay Titiya, they celebrate, and many beginning of year some festivals are there, and naturally like Diwali, Janmashtami, these are common to all the places. But there are also many festivals celebrated uh, where Prabhupada used to say there are 13 festival and 12 months. So it was very difficult to handle. And every month the children used to wear new clothes, eh? And everyone, festival means new clothes. We also have seen festival means new clothes. Children are given new clothes and they become very happy. Now festival is coming, new clothes. Now these have been finished. Now people, festival means two things. Make good prasad, prasad में नहीं अच्छा बनाओ खाओ और पटाखे बजाओ. Just पटाखे बजाओ and अच्छा खाओ. So the festival has lost its culture. Festival was celebrated to worship God, to combine the family people, and to follow the tradition actually, where all people will come. Like when we say Sankirtan moment, Sankirtan means what? Coming all together and then doing chanting. In the similar way, previously Varnashram used to keep festival, coming together and then chanting the name of God, doing some rituals. So that was congregation chanting was there in previous time in Varnashram in that way. But now Srila Prabhupada established this thing. So then this thing is more powerful because Sankirtan is more powerful. So where these things are not there, Sankirtan moment is not there. So then people have to follow all these things. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he knew that this Varnashram tradition will be finished. So therefore he established this congregational chanting of holy name. So devotees have many festivals. So many festival devotees also celebrate. Like all acharyas, almost so many acharyas, they have their appearance and disappearance. Then Janmashtami, then Govardhan Puja. So many festivals are there. So these all things are there for what? What is the purpose? To keep household people engaged in religious activities. Otherwise, they will develop irreligious habits. सनातन कुल धर्म अधर्माद् विद्भवत् कृष्ण प्रदुष्यन्ति कुल स्त्रियः स्त्रीषु दुष्टासु वार्ष्णेय जायते वर्णसंकरः.
When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny.
Yes. So women are always protected. Srila Prabhupada says in many places, this is a region, so they used to be protected by elderly family members. And then they used to engage women into the activity of religion in home only. So lot of activities used to be there, lot of activities for everything. No machines were there previously, so everything you have to get it through your hand, through legs, and through meeting. Like not one lady, 4 5 ladies will come together, and like I remember, like we had our joint family. So we had our mothers, chachi. So when the cooking used to happen, one will do chapati, other will do sabji, another will do something else. And they used to keep talking, 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 talking. And we were children, and used to come after playing, used to come, and then they will give some chapati, and okay, okay, go and eat. So we used to see all this culture actually, and everything used to be cooked on wood and kande, cow, cow, cow dung cakes. So this was the family. And then they have to also take out the grains from the peels, and they have to then usko kootna padta hai. बहुत सारी चीजें, so many activities were there actually. The ladies were never free. And religious activity also. They used to worship some demigods inside house. They used to also make some rangoli. They would also make some smearing the ground with the cow, this gobar, like that. So activities were many previously. So the elderly member is to engage them. But now what? Now these things are not there actually. So then what? There's no work. So then now husband and wife both go for work outside. So then now no religion in the families. So where is the family nowadays? Family is only for namesake actually. Actually family is made by women. Woman makes a family. But the control is not with the woman, control is with the husband actually. So the director is the husband, but the whole time the family is maintained by the woman, because she has the emotional side, and so therefore she be with the other ladies, she be with the children, and she follows so many religious principles she used to follow, and so the home used to become auspicious with that understanding, with that kind of practices. So because of breaking of this joint families, this all free mixing started happening. So here mentioned, the women will become polluted because they will start mixing with other men outside, maybe for job sake, for this sake, for that sake, but they will be surely mixing, because women have a frivolous nature. Even man also has, but women have more frivolous nature. So then they will talk, anyway they will talk for whatever reason. So then there will be free mixing, and when free mixing will happen, so then further sometimes may also happen some talks for uniting together. So then problem will happen, or they will become unchaste actually. What were the ladies of previous time? Gandhari, Mandodari, Draupadi, Kunti, what kind of chaste ladies they were actually. So training for boys should be for brahmacharya, and training for ladies should be for chastity. See, if this training is kept intact, and then taking care of other things like family, job, if the whole focus should be, the lady should be trained in chastity, the man should be trained in brahmacharya, and then keeping this thing intact in the family life, and then other things should also be managed accordingly, then this is right thing. And then today what is happening? Sacrifice everything, just go for job. Husband also going for job, wife also going for job. Everybody is going for job. So surely we cannot question nowadays, because living in city means problem. Too much problem. So much wealth is required for children. 2 lakh, 3 lakh. One is to put for education, for home, for rented house. So much again. 1 BHK, 2 BHK, costly. So much costly. So it's a problem of government actually. Government should make the things cheaper. So this is the thing is mentioned very clearly by Srila Prabhupada. The good population in human society is a basic principle for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashram religious principles were so designed that good population would prevail in society for general spiritual progress of a state and community. Such population depends on chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are also similarly very prone to be degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of family. By being engaged in such various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and they are not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to good population. eligible for participating in varnashram system. On the failure of such varnashram dharma, naturally the woman will become free to act and mix with men. Thus, adultery is indulged at the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men are also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. And today, what is happening? People are talking, "Arey, why there is a lot of war is happening? Arey, all unwanted children are produced. What they will do?" So we are trying to remove the symptoms, but root is only rotten. If root is rotten, how can we remove the symptoms? Too much worried. Bangladesh में fight हो रहा है, उधर fight हो रहा है. So Prabhupada is mentioning this actually. And government at other side, they are giving birth controls, contraceptives. They are allowing, okay, use karo for controlling birth. So birth controlling should not be done according to the religious scriptures. Birth controlling in previous time people used to do after Banprastha, and they used to produce lot of children because they neither had such kind of facility artificial birth control. So the things were so cheaper that children would be nicely cared for, their education will be taken care, their food will be taken care, because things were cheaper. So government used to make system like that. Now if government is making system so costly in the cities, then how can people produce more children? This is one thing, one irony. Another irony, these men and women are studying till the age of 30, 35, and then they're marrying after 30, 35 only for the sake of formality. The marriage should happen, Prabhupada writes, at 16 age of girl, and the boy should be 20 to 25. So then they can produce many children. Because ultimately, if somebody says we want to make a good family, then family, you first understand what is the meaning of family first. Meaning of family should be, Prabhupada clearly mentions, पुत्रार्थे क्रियते भार्या पुत्र पिंड प्रयोजनम. पुत्रार्थे क्रियते भार्या. For the sake of producing son, a man accepts a woman as his wife. Putra pinda prayojanam. And putra is gained or he is begotten for pinda. Pinda means, okay, my forefathers have given birth to me in their lineage. Now I am responsible to deliver them from their sins. So therefore I have to produce a child, son. So that's why they used to do that in previous traditions. So therefore the next shloka is going to come, there is no pinda. Because no pinda, because the women are not chaste. So they will produce unwanted population. And then these children will not do any pind. They will forget what is a pind. So this is there. These things all. So therefore, actually, this has to rightly considered what we are doing actually, because this modern education is such a rascal education. It's totally meant for, Prabhupada says, it's a spiritual slaughterhouse, not even a spiritual slaughterhouse, but even it's a modern family life also slaughterhouse. People are working harder for education till 30, 35 age, and then they are trying to make a family. And when they are getting old, they are producing children. What children they will produce? And then they are free mixed with so many here and there. So therefore it's very, very important actually, when such things will be practiced in our life. Not long before, 30, 40 years these things were practiced already, but modern education has dismantled all these things. So nobody is worried about such nightmares which modern education is bringing about in one's life. Sankaro naraka eva kulagnana kulasya cha patanti pitaro hesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha.
An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped.
Yes. Srila Prabhupada mentions those who are devotees, they already they satisfy the Lord, so they need not to be doing this pinda. But again, there is no harm in doing the pinda, because you are offering to Lord Vishnu and then you are offering to your pitras. So that both can be done. It's not a statement for making it exclusive that you only do this thing and don't do that thing. No, it can be done because sometimes our devotional service is not very strong. So then such kind of like when we offer pind, what happens? What is the pinda? What is shraddha? Shraddha means you offer prasad, Vishnu prasad, to your forefather. Now your forefather come at the plane, they come from Pitraloka or from somewhere, they come to certain plane where they can accept your food. So that is called Pitru Paksha, like Pitru Paksha was there na? In a Bhadra month, the last 15 days were Pitru Paksha. So in Pitru Paksha, people used to offer food grains to their Pitras. That is called Pinda. And mainly these the crow is the medium which takes that food morsel, and then it is said that the Pitra, they come in the form of a crow and they eat those food morsel which is offered to Lord Vishnu, and thus they get relief from their sinful reactions. Because what happens, till the time we have human body, we can counteract our sins by doing some yagya, by doing some yagya dan tapa. But once you give up human body, you cannot counteract your sins. Then your lineage people have to counteract your sins. That is what the process of Pind, Shraddha. And Shraddha is not only done just to relieve our forefathers from such misery, but Shraddha also done to get some benedictions from the forefathers. Okay, now we are going to go ahead in this business, in this good work, so we want some blessings from our forefathers. So then that time also Shraddhas are done so that forefathers can bless the whole family. So this is called family lineage actually. So family lineage is not only one husband, one wife. Okay, we are living together happily. Okay, very nice. What about your forefathers? What about your future? Nothing. We don't know anything. So that is not family actually. So here it's clearly mentioned. So then when this Varna Sankar means nobody knows whether it's a Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya. What is this Varna? Nobody knows. This is Varna Sankar. No proper qualification that child has. No proper samskara that happen. Dasabhida sanskar, Solabhida sanskar. So these sanskaras are very important reformatory processes. So therefore the soul which is brought into this world by the conception, that soul has to be chosen according to one's consciousness. And that therefore that is called Garbhadan sanskar. And then from there onwards, again 15 sanskaras ahead. Goes ahead. Last Anteshti sanskar. So these sanskaras are performed so that the soul which is coming into this world, taking the body, male or female body, whatever he has, then that soul will not have problem in living proper material life, and also will not have problem in his going back to Godhead. Means he will also perform his duties properly. Like sometimes because of not having good sanskaras, these sanskaras performed, children suffer really very much. And it's a duty of parents to put children for such sanskaras actually. So therefore the demigods who are the responsible for his controlling his future, they give him some allowances by doing such sanskaras. Some impurities are removed, so that these children will become more successful in their life. Like when somebody bathes, koi nahata hai, so then he becomes fresh, he feels fresh. Yes, now I am in right consciousness to do something. In the similar way, all living entities, they come with some impurities, and God has given some religious ceremonies or some reformatory processes by which this kind of kalmash, this kind of wrong things are removed from the soul, and so he can progress nicely. So this is why this sanskaras has to be performed. Sanskaras help children in growing mentally, in growing physically. We talk about Annamaya Kos, Pranamaya Kos, Jnanamaya Kos, Anandamaya Kos. All these kosas are there. So these kosas, one start growing ahead and ahead in the kosas, means they overcome the previous one once these sanskaras are performed. Okay, sanskaras itself are not enough to make a soul go from this world to next world, means higher destination. He has to also be trained in proper education. Sanskara is one time, okay, but you have to train in proper education also. Vedic Shastra, teaching Vedic Shastra, Krishna conscious education, that is also required. So yes, so unwanted population is there, and so they don't perform Pind for their forefathers. So Prabhupada mentioned sometimes forefathers may be suffering because of various type of sinful reaction, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle body as ghost. Thus, when remnants of prasadam or food are offered to the forefathers by descendants, the forefathers are released from the ghostly or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. Prabhupada mentioned. One who is engaged in devotional service are not required for perform such action. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kind of misery. So this is sloka, Devarshi Bhutapta Nrinam Pitnam Na Kinkaro Nayam Rini Charajam. So one time Radha Govind Maharaj was asked this question. So Maharaj said actually, what is the harm? Even Chaitan Mahaprabhu is to perform this culture. So surely Chaitan Mahaprabhu, so faith should be there in devotional service. But then when somebody is performing Pinda, one should understand, okay, I am out of ritual, I am doing it. But ultimately when I am serving the Lord, I am pleasing the devotees, I am serving the devotees, I am serving the Lord. So then this itself is enough to deliver my forefathers. If I continue my devotional service in nice way, that is good. And even if somebody performs, there is no harm in that. So it is said like that. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. दोषरयते कुलज्ञाना वर्णसंकरकारके उत्साद्यन्ते जाति धर्मा कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वताः.
By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated.
Yes. So this you see what has happened now is already unwanted population have taken birth, and so we are finding in Kali Yuga now so many complexities. You see like on the internet so many problems we see in the outside. Why problems are coming now? Because already unwanted population have been born, and so it's mentioned by the evil deed of those who destroy family tradition and thus they give rise to unwanted children. All kinds of community project and family welfare activities are devastated. They will be devastated. So that's why now all family welfare activities are going to finish after some time. So what are family welfare activities basically? These religious activities only. They have to do, as I mentioned, all religion, all reformatory processes are to just make us clean from material dirt so that we advance future in our spiritual life properly. So when we do religious activity, we are engaged, one thing. We are also engaging other family members together, so we are gaining a lot of social support, we are gaining a lot of family support. We give up our all other mindsets like fighting, envy, we give up, we come together and serve the Lord together. And children also they see, oh, what my mother was doing, what my father was doing. Like one son, he was so fed up with his family tradition. His father used to always say, oh, bring this, bring that. So then he said to me, Prabhu, so many functions. When Ganesh worship comes, my father becomes so much busy. He start decorating the whole house. And then when other Devi function come, again he start doing all. And I have to force myself. I never like such things. I have to force myself to bring all the items from market just for his pleasure. And therefore I want to go away from home and I want to live in, I want to do some job and I want to live myself a free life. So you want to live a free life, he was saying. So I said, see, okay, you may not like this thing. So then you take to Krishna consciousness, which is more jolly process. Then you celebrate Acharya's birthday, you celebrate other festivals. But you should not try to live a free life. That is not good. Somewhere you should be engaged in a religious or spiritual activity. Free life is not at all good. So now children are or their sons are not taught about the family tradition, so they are feeling quite disturbed. That more important for them is going for college, working in job. More important for them is these things, rather than celebrating some rituals. Community projects for the four orders of human society combined with family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma are designed to enable human beings to attain their ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of Sanatan Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of the society brings about chaos in that society. Consequently, people forget the aim of life Vishnu. This has happened actually. People are not now doing such things. Okay. उत्सन्न कुल धर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दन नरके नियतं वासो भवत्यति अनुशुश्रमम्. Yes.
O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by discipline the cyclic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell.
Yes, he's saying they dwell always in hell. So one who does that killing of such family tradition, who is causing such things, he's going to live in hell. And the forefathers who are not given pind, they will also go to hell. So forefathers will go to hell, and unwanted children will also go to hell. All will go to hell. Arjuna bases his argument not on his personal experience but on what he has heard from authority. That is the way of receiving the real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being helped by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnashram institution that by which before death one has to undergo the process of atonement for his sinful activities. One who is always engaged in sinful activity must utilize the process of atonement called prayashchitta. Without doing so, one is surely transferred to the hellish life. So as I said, it's mentioned in 6th canto, Sukadeva Goswami mentions, the any human before death, he should counteract all his sinful reactions. Otherwise, he is going to hell. Because hell means he has to suffer his sinful reactions. And we have a time till the time we have this body. And once we go to the hell, then we depend on our lineage people, like we hear the story of Dhundukari. Dhundukari, he was brother of Gokarna. The Bhagavat was recited, we hear many times in Bhagavat Katha we hear. So Dhundukari, he he really lived a life of debauchery life, and so he was killed by many prostitutes together. Uh, and they put coal inside his mouth, coal inside his eyes, and the very heinous kind of death he achieved. So he became ghost actually. But now he cannot get rid of his sins because he has become ghost now. So then he was requesting his brother Gokarna, please perform something for me. I can get rid of this sin. So he took his asti and he put it into Gaya also, Ganges also. Still he was not getting delivered. His sins were so formidable sins. So then at last he spoke Bhagavatam. And this Dhundukari, he heard Bhagavatam so attentively that at the end of Bhagavatam, after 7 days, the Vaikuntha plane came and he was delivered. So we hear this story. So it means the sinful reaction can only be counteracted till the time we have this human body. After human body is lost, we depend on our previous next people, our lineage to get rid of our sins. That is why this whole system is made, Varnashram system. That okay, you could not do, so okay, your next people will do. So it is important. And why they used to have sons? Yeah, the sons and daughters, that also lot of struggle happen in India. Sons, daughters, so daughter is, she is like Kanyadan. She is given in charity to the other family. So now daughter is responsible to make other family bigger and bigger by giving birth to children. And the son is responsible to expand the same family in which he is born. So therefore both are important. But because of selfishness, the father thinks or the mother thinks in the family, oh, we have now daughter are born now. Now she is not going to be of any use for our family. She is a property of other family. So therefore this, because of misconception and selfishness and not regard towards the Vedic system, so then they used to neglect the daughters and they used to torture the daughters many times. It used to happen. So therefore the whole system is like that. The daughter is a property of the next another family, and the son is the property of this family. Both are responsible for making the family bigger and bigger actually, and give birth to the right children. अहोबत महत् पापम कर्तुम व्यवसिता वयम यद राज्य सुख लोभेन हंतुम स्वजनम उद्यता. Yes.
Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen.
So now Arjuna has come back to his same statements. Okay, now I don't want to fight. So now 4 reasons he has given: compassion, no enjoyment, fear of sinful reaction, and destruction of family tradition. So till 43 was destruction of family tradition. So I don't want to commit such sinful activity. Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as killing of one's own brother, father and mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being saintly devotee, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. यदि माम अप्रतिकारम असस्त्रम शस्त्रय पाणयः भारतराष्ट्रारणेहर्न्यूस् तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्.
Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield.
It is a custom according to Kshatriyas fighting principle that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, decided that even if attacked by the enemy in such an awkward position, he would not fight. He did not consider how much other party was bent upon fighting. All these were symptoms due to soft heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. So he is even ready that, okay, I will not take the weapons in my hand and they may kill me, no issue, I am ready for that. So he is going towards too much towards non-violent side. Like Gandhiji said, if British will slap you on this side, you just show them your another side. Slap me here also. So then this is non-violence principle. So this is not fitting for Arjuna. Even though Arjuna's reasons for not fighting were quite dharmic, and they are really important for whole society to remain together. But Krishna has a different plan. Krishna wants to establish dharma. And Krishna does not want to just go ahead with the simplistic dharma understanding. Krishna says, I am the creator. I know how to create this world. I create this world, I maintain it, I destroy it. Again I create, maintain, destroy. I am already doing it. So don't worry about that. These people will die. Religious principle will also get finished. I will again establish the religious principle. Don't worry about that. I will do that. That is my job. But Arjuna is worrying about this, whatever tuta futa religious system was going on. So he is worrying about that. संजय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा अर्जुनः सङ्ख्ये रथोपस्थ उपाविशत् विसृज्य सशरं चापं शोकसमविघ्नमानसः.
Sanjay said, Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief.
So while observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down once again, setting aside his bow and arrow. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. So see, Arjuna does not have enmity, even though he was so much tortured and mistreated by his brothers, cousin brothers. But he's not remembering all such incidents. And even his wife also, Draupadi, she was also mistreated. But he's not remembering such things. Krishna, I know that these things happened with me. He's not remembering at all. He's just worrying about the other party, that they should not be killed. Even though they did so much wrong and they are even ready to do wrong to me also, I will die. But I will not counteract. So this is a very high quality. At the same time, Krishna wants to teach the lesson that a Kshatriya should not become so much saintly. He is responsible for laying down the legacy of his forefathers Kshatriyas, that you have to fight. You have to fight. You have to remove the aggressors from the world so that the other people can follow dharma properly. They could live in peace. Okay, so this is a completion of chapter 1. Any question? Okay, so shall we continue this month as well, or we give holiday for whole month for distribution of Prabhupada books? How many devotees are aspiring, or you can say not aspiring, is opting for continuing, and or they want next month only? So Anish Prabhu, you find out some polling.
We can take poll on group.
You can.
Take poll, take poll.
take
Like voting project.
voting. Yes, voting,
Yeah.
voting. So, so basically, we have these classes on the weekends. If we want, we can continue, or we will continue from the next month, January. So we have completed the chapter first, introduction, and chapter first is completed now. 6 hours, so we have completed. Uh, 5 classes we have taken. 5 classes we have taken. Okay. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Bhagavad Gita ki jai.